guys, and welcome to an episode of WoW Weekly with Myst. This week's Transmog, you may recognize it. It is a full ensemble, except I didn't put my heart weapon on, but yeah, and I do have it, but I'm too lazy to do it now. So we'll just keep it as is. But this is the Love Witch ensemble. Usually I don't show off full sets. I'm very much a mix and match, and usually, to be fair, they're never like trading post sets or like they're usually random trash mobs that drop the items. Yeah, a lot of my sets don't come from raids or dungeons. Yeah. That's why I get so many questions about them, because people can't like pinpoint the items because they're not your traditional raid and dungeon items, right? But this was a trading post set. The reason we're wearing it this week is because since I've been playing a lot of Disney this past week, I was like, oh, we should do like a Disney set. And when I think of Disney and I think of WoW transmogs, this is the one that comes to mind. I have both the pink and the purple one. I'm usually in the purple one, but I feel like, you know, I never wear the pink one. So I was like, yeah, I'll use the pink one. So yeah, so that is that. The back piece was an extra that I bought. Okay, I was gonna swap the weapon, and then I realized why we're not using that weapon. And it's because I bought the staff, and I'm currently equipped with a one piece and offhand. So yeah, I do have a staff I keep on like in my bags in case I ever want to use like a staff transmog just for show. But whatever. We're you know. We gotta get into this video, so this is the transmog this week. It is hot today, so this video is probably gonna take me a bit to record. But yeah, the editing part it won't be so bad, because then like I have air conditioning in the house, but then I also will run the fan. But I can't do that when I'm recording. You guys would hear like the fan coming across so loud. So yeah, it's the recording aspect that's the tougher part on the hot days. This week's events is Mop Remix is still going on. We still have a month of that. Dark Moon Fair is this week. The PvP Brawl this week is South Shore versus Terran Mill. World Quests is this week. And then on July 13th, the Luminous Luminaries event will go on. I will link a video at the end of this one for you guys. I did do that one up in one of the past years. So yeah, that video will tell you more on that little micro event. It is a one-day event. So those are the weekly events this week. Okay, so starting with some general Blizzard type news, just one thing for this section of the video, and that is the new Gorehowl Statue. As some of you guys may know from me covering it in past videos, the Chinese servers will have their WoW back, and in celebration of that, they had put this new Gorehowl Statue on display. Now, it's said to be 15 meters, which is 49 feet in length. From July 4th to July 7th, they had this statue on display, which was over in Shanghai at the waterfront park. So players weren't able to get up close and personal with it, but they were able to read the player messages that were engraved on the axe. And that was like 1.74 million messages from returning players. And they had a photo taking quest at the event site. And those who completed it received a commemorable inflatable Gorehowl. which was limited to 5,000 a day. So yeah, you know, just a interesting little factor there I thought you guys would like to know. So it is all said and done. You know, the day I'm recording this video is the last day, because it only was on display for 3 days, so it was only for this weekend. Also, there is a new book that is up for pre-order. Now, this book is a book that's been around for a while. I actually have them, but they've decided to combine them into like a box set. So very nice. I'm probably gonna buy the box set because I buy a lot of box sets. I don't open them though. Like I'll snap a picture of my Game of Thrones one. So this box set you see a picture of right now, that's on my bookshelf that's like to the left of me when you see me on stream. And I have 2 sets of that. I have the one set that I've actually opened and read, and then I have a plastic set that I kind of just keep on the shelf for show. Because as you guys know, you know, books can have a little wear and tear when you're like, you know, bending pages and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of like my don't touch any pages in it and stuff. So I'll probably do the same thing with this one as a little collector's item. So this set will include 5 books, and as you can see here at the bottom, you can see all 5 books. And so it'll be all in one box set, and it's supposed to come with a collector's pin as well. There is no picture on the collector's pin, so I can't show you that, but it does say it comes with one. So this box will be available you can pre-purchase it right now, but it doesn't actually release until November 5th of this year. So yeah, pretty much it covers the Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, Northrend, Pandaria, and then the islands and isles, which would be like Legion, BFA, and Dragonflight. I'll click on the link. It's gonna show me Canadian though. No, it shows me the American site. Okay. So it is showing on sale right now for 12%. A lot of places do this on pre-order items to get you to purchase them sooner. So original price is $150, but it is on sale right now for $130. And that covers a few authors. We all know Christy Golden. She's the most popular one that does WoW books. But it will also have Sean Copeland and Alex Axe. So, on to some retail news. The first one, so we're going to start with some actual in-game right now news. So there has been a hotfix for the massive Lunker achievement. Here it is on screen. It's been nerfed pretty decently. So if you are still working on those achievements, it's a lot easier now. Okay, so now on to some War Within stuff. So this is some updates to the War Within beta. So we've got some Death Knight changes. Feel free to pause for what interests you. Some Druid changes. Hunter, Mage, Monk. Monk doesn't get too many changes there. Paladin, Priest, Shaman, which is getting a lot of changes. There's a lot in there. I think they're trying to shut up the shamans. A lot of shaman players complain pretty much every expansion that they get nothing. Yeah, I remember a druid expansion that looked very much like this, and yeah, it's to shut you up. Yeah, especially with that much stuff. So yeah. Warlock, Warrior, and then there's some changes to the PvP there, and yeah, so that's some updates that have happened this past week, so a ton right there. And there's more coming, you know, keep in mind, this is the beta. So like nothing ever stops in the beta, right? There's always constant updates. And also keep in mind that they release on the day, whether they're ready or not. So updates are still happening all the time. So this is not done. This is just what we have so far. Back to the topic of shamans, just one quick little add-in here. I don't know if it was in that list of changes on the shamans, so I just thought I'd add it. And that is that they are getting a new raid buff. It is called Sky Fury. So it says harness the fury of the Windlord to grant a target ally 2% mastery and empower their auto attacks to have a 20% chance to instantly strike again for an hour. If the target is in your party or raid, all affected party and raid members will be affected, and it's learned at level 17. Okay, next we have Coppers the Kobold. So this is going to be a new pet, and you'll get it when you hit Renown 2 with the Assembly of the Deeps. Coppers acts as a vendor and also a repair NPC. Also, there's a new engineering mount. It's the Crowd Pummeler 230. So this is, they're calling it a money sink. So it's going to be a little pricey. In order to obtain the recipes, you need to, well, engineers need to utilize the new pilfering and inventing system in the War Within. And yeah, you're going to come across a bunch of items. And yeah, I'll just show you what it involves. So here is the items you're gonna need. You can see why it's a bit of a money sink. So there's two ways that you can get the materials, either buying or pilfering. So for the pilfering, you can see it's a profession trait unlocked under the inventing engineering tree. And you'll be able to pilfer through parts. And they're considered rare drops. Their item rarity and item you decide to scrap both correspond to the likelihood of them dropping when pilfering. So this allows you to potentially get the mount cheaper than the vendor price, but it is very RNG. These parts are also BOE, so you can sell them on the auction house. So yeah, this is going to be a mount that will be sold for a lot, because if you calculate all those costs together, you're basically looking at a 3 mil mount. I think this next expansion's going to be pricey, because there's that, and then at the beginning of, like, you know, alpha and beta kind of coming into the picture, we had discovered the hefty price warbands, where those are gonna cost you millions as well. So, you know, if you want all of the tabs. So yeah, pricey expansion from the looks of it so far. They also mentioned that in the War Within pre-patch, character restoration will be temporarily unavailable. Okay, so that is retail stuff. We have a new phase of Classic WoW coming in this week, so I thought we would go over that. I've been kind of just holding on to it for quite a while now, and this is the week to share it, since Phase 4 will be opening up this week. Okay guys, so Classic WoW Phase 4. The Classic WoW Phase 4 will launch on July 11th, which is this Thursday. And it will be launching worldwide at 1 p.m. Pacific. So this is the final phase. This is the final phase we've all been looking for, because up until now, you were kind of capped to, you know, what level you could be. Now we will be able to go to max, which is level 60. You'll have some new class runes. You can enter the Molten Core raid, and then of course more, which we're gonna go over right now. So basically, what will you have? You'll be able to get to max level. You'll have access to all the classic zones. You'll be able to collect epic mounts. There's going to be a new world buff for Alliance characters at max level called Might of Stormwind. It increases hit points by 300, 15% haste to melee attacks, 10 mana regen every 5 seconds, and the buff does not stack with Warchief's Blessing. We'll still have the increased experience gain, which is good because I am so slacking because I play so many different games now. But 1 to 49 will have a 150% increased experience gain. And then level 50 to 59 will have a 50% increased experience gain. I'm still impressed that they give like an experience gain to the current new... Like, they did that with the last phase too, where immediately you had, like, the experience gain. And it makes sense for, like, the levels that exist in past phases, but for you to have, like, an increased, you know, yes, it's 100% less, but you still have a bit of an increase, which I think it's great, but it is kind of weird coming from Blizzard. There will be some new runes for every class to discover. There is a new cloak gear slot. And there's going to be a new currency called Tarnished Undermined Real. It can be earned from most non-rare dungeon bosses over level 55 once per day to purchase a bunch of items. And there'll also be a new ring gear slot. And there's updated rewards and new dungeons. So this will be for your level 7 or your level 60, Blackrock Depths, the second half of it, Blackrock Spire, Dire Maul, Three Wings, Skullamont's Strathhome, and then there's a new mystery dungeon that you can discover. Alterac Valley Battleground will be available, and PvP class sets for rank 10. The new world event is called Blackrock Eruption, and this has to do with Rag, of course. He's, causing some havoc in Blackrock Mountain. Players can kind of experience more of the story over there and take part in the reoccurring event and associating quests with that. The timed event occurs every 2 hours with additional creature spawns, daily quests, and bonus honor rewards from PvP within the Blackrock Mountain. You can also increase your rep with the Thorium Brotherhood and earn access to some crafting materials and other rewards. As for the raid boss schedule, Lord Kazak and Azirgos on July 18th will be up at like 1 p.m. Pacific globally as brand new instant versions of these encounters. They can be experienced with up to 40 players, but they will be tuned as 20-player content, making them both pick up group-friendly with 40 players, but also giving players the option to maximize their rewards by attempting them with 20. Rag and Onyxia will be available on July 25th at 1 p.m. Pacific globally. So you can explore Molten Core as a 20-player dungeon with 10 classic bosses, some revamped loot, redesigned tier 1 sets. So you'll be earning more rewards for a higher difficulty. Worth noting, fire resist gear will be very, very, valuable in this encounter. And they are adding one more surprise, but they haven't told us. So, new raid lockout. So players in North America and Europe will have their resets on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and players in Asia will have theirs on Wednesdays and Sundays. So that is for the new raid lockout. So some changes to the Blood Moon and Nightmare incursion when Phase 4 launches. The Nightmare incursions will update to daily quest hubs. And the reduced cost for honor granting bloodstained commendations from the Blood Moon event in Stranglethorn Vale. And then one last thing I'd just like to say about this, the Phase 4, is that they did mention that the Dire Maul tribute buffs will no longer be dispellable in Phase 4. Okay guys, so that is all the news I have for you this week. As far as goals and accomplishments, I accomplished like a tiny bit in WoW. I will throw a clip up of that right now to show you. I just queued in a Midsummer. This may be the last attempt I do for the dungeon, so it would be great if the skin drops. But the reason is because I only need one Blossom currency in order to get the shield. I already have enough for the back piece on the Druid. And yeah, after that, I have no real reason to keep running this. I may just keep queuing in the dungeon, but I've only been running it on one character. So yeah. So here's to hoping we just loot it right now. Druid just keeps, yeah. Okay. Technically, I could run it for one more day, but I may totally forget. I've got a lot of stuff to do this week. Yeah, figures. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the skin today. And this is why I don't like the first attempt only being able to get loot. Because when it comes to these, like, let's say it was the last day. There's no point, right? If your first character doesn't get it, like, you have no hope in hell for running the alts. And I'm just gonna say, pretty much, aside from Headless Horseman, which I got on the first try, pretty much all the other event-type mounts, I get that this is a skin, but it's got the drop rate of a mount. So pretty much all those mounts that I got through events, they were all accomplished on alts. It was never the first character of the day for many reasons. One, that didn't exist back then, but the point is it always took multiple attempts. And yeah, I really didn't like how they did this. I'm just grateful it was a skin and not a mount, because I'd probably be furious of how they did this system this year. Yeah, I hope they change that out. Okay, so let's buy the shield. Nice. So there's the shield there. Okay, we're just hopping over to the Druid.
See you soon.
Thank you. Okay, there's the back piece. So there's that. My hair hides a bit of it, but that's not bad. So the only thing I didn't really get that I was going after would be the skin. That's for the dragon riding. But to be fair, I didn't try. Well, I won't say I didn't try, but once I heard that it was the first attempt, and yeah, I lost all motivation. I skipped days, and when I did do it, the most characters that went in was like 2 per day. And most of the time it was just 1. It would just be the first attempt, and yeah, so I really, you know, once I realized the alts couldn't loot it, you know, they could put an extra % on, but that wasn't good enough for me. I want them to have a chance at looting it every single alt I bring in, because time is time at the end of the day. I still want to know that, you know, I'm not doing it all for nothing, right? Okay, so yeah, that's all I really got done in WoW. To be fair, to be completely honest, I have not really been in WoW this week. I'm sure those that watch the channel regularly, you've seen a lot of Disney Dreamlight videos this week. So I'm going to tell you what's going on with that, just in case I'm worrying some new people that, you know, as a WoW content creator, like, people just immediately think you're done when you stop posting for, you know, the reality is I never stop posting. I just start posting other shit. Like, that's what happens. I never really have a, you know, we're not posting content. It'll just change. Okay, so the plan. What I've been up to lately, and this is going to be the goals going forward until we at least get the pre-patch info and I find out, you know, how much time I need to invest in that. But at the, you know, at the moment, my biggest plan right now is I'm prepping for the expansion launch. The expansion, yes, is still a month away, a little over a month. But I am no longer just a WoW channel, right? I do mainly WoW, but I also do Disney, I also do playthroughs and all that, and we have a lot of ongoing things right now, right? I'm currently trying to catch up on my Disney Dreamlight, get all those videos on the channel. And keep in mind, when I say catch up, I'm talking videos. I'm not talking playing the game. Well, it does consist of playing the game, but it's more getting the stuff that needs to get edited out so that I don't have to worry about that when the expansion launches. So that's my plan. I'm catching up Disney. I am probably going to need a solid, like, couple of weeks for that. And then I also have a playthrough on the channel, a couple actually. I'll screenshot this. This is something you can see on the channel if you go there yourself. It's at the top of the home page, or at least close to the top. These are all the games I'm currently playing. So what I'm aiming to do, I don't know if it'll get accomplished, but this is like what's going on in my head right now, guys, right? So a couple of weeks to catch up on the Disney Dreamlight, and then I want to finish up another Crab's Treasure, and then I want to finish Zelda. Zelda is actually, it's close to done, just it requires a lot of editing, right? Editing is like, yeah, it's such a tough place in the editing because it's super pricey to hire an editor. So as a content creator, you just want to, like, unless you're wealthy, of course, you just want to edit your own videos to save yourself a huge amount of money, especially when you're small. Like, you don't know if those videos are gonna do good. You don't want to spend fucking $200 on a video edit and then find out it goes nowhere, right? So editing's always like the struggle, right? And so those are the goals. Elden Ring is not the goal. So like that one, I said straight out when I posted that first video that Elden Ring was gonna be like a a here and there game that I do every so often, kind of in between stuff. So there is no goal. Like, yeah, there is no goal with Elden Ring. One day we'll complete it, but it's just on the channel as a putz around game. And yeah, I have a lot of fun in it, but it is a game where you can be on the same boss for a while, and with WoW in the mix, I don't have time to really fight a boss for long extended periods of time, so that makes it longer to do videos for it. So yeah, so that one will remain after the expansion. But yeah, like my major thing is that I just want Zelda and another Crab's Treasure kind of done. And yeah, mainly Zelda. Zelda is like the long fucking game that's been on the channel for a while, because it's like hundreds and hundreds of hours, because I do like side quests and main story and collection and, you know, all that, right? So it's really probably the bigger priority, but I know I could get another Crab's Treasure completed faster than the end of Zelda right now. So yeah, that's where my head's sitting. So that's the plan. And that is why maybe you see a little less streams lately, because, you know, the more I stream, the less I can record and edit. So it's a tough situation. I've often said that if we ever start doing like decently good where I can actually live off this content, I will get an editor and you guys will see so much more content. Like streams all the time. I can do all the videos I want and not have to worry about, you know, because I'll be real with you guys. I do have a limit of what I record every week because I know I have to edit it, right? So I don't do too much stuff in a week, because if I do, I just end up with so much to edit. So yeah. So long story short, I know that one took us a little bit to explain, but I just wanted to let you guys know, more so the newer people. I think my regulars and people who have been around, they know how this channel works. Like, you know exactly what's going on. You know, I'm just trying to catch up some games, and, you know, especially with the expansion releasing, you know, we usually go pretty ham on a new expansion, and yeah. So that's that. Yeah, so no WoW goals for a while. Is there stuff I need to get done in WoW? Yes. But I honestly, it stresses me out to have all these games still going on and an expansion launching in like a month, right? So yeah, that's where my head's sitting. So I just thought I would add in here that I know that I've kind of promised you guys a beta stream. We got Season of Discovery Phase 4 coming out this week. So I am going to do some streams this week. I feel like I did a ton of editing this past week. So I feel like we can do it, but if the pre-patch doesn't get announced or released like in the next couple of weeks, you may see me go back to, you know, doing a lot of editing of other games. But I am going to try to keep the streams in, of course. There is a lot going on this week between between my promise to you guys of a beta stream and then also, you know, the Phase 4 is coming out, and I'm trying to decide if I want to log in before, just to kind of catch up my character, because, you know, even when I do the Phase 4 like launch day stream, we won't be in the Phase 4 areas. Like, I've slacked so hard on Season of Discovery because of all these other games. So I'm gonna guarantee you at least 2 streams this week. There will at least be 1 beta stream and 1 classic season of Discovery. But in my head, I'm thinking we should do like a solid week of streams. So there may be more, but right now, because some stuff might come up, you know, that's what I will commit to right now in this video. So yeah, there will be streams this week. And there usually is. It's very odd that I take like a whole week off, but I had so much backlog of Disney edits that I needed last week for like all this Disney stuff. So that is the video. I hope you enjoyed. And have a great week in WoW or any other games. Maybe, you know, I know a lot of people kind of break from WoW right before the expansion, so that they can kind of go in hard, you know. Yeah. I've personally never had a burnt out, you know, feeling in WoW. Anytime I've left WoW, it has been because of editing. Like, it's been moments where I actually want to play WoW, but I have to edit videos. Yeah. So I've never actually, I've never had a burnt out feeling. And I'm a player that has, like, you know, I have like 40k hours in this game. So, yeah. Some people do get burnt out. I know a lot of people do with WoW. But for me, there's just so many other things to do. If it was just like a one focus game, like say you could only level and raid and nothing else, right? Then maybe I would have been burnt out by now, right? But because there's so many different aspects of the game, it would take a long time for someone to get burnt out. Yeah. And it just never happened to me, you know? These other games that I brought into the mix, they weren't brought in because I was burnt out or anything. I was still going pretty hard in WoW. I just wanted a change of pace, honestly. I felt like I was missing out on these great games, and I was, you know. I've played a lot of really good games on this channel. And yeah, so I'm happy that I have changed the way I play WoW. And it was a tough move because you basically gotta stop being an endgame player to go that route. Or at least stop being so serious about being an endgame player. Like, you could still do mythics and raid and all that and play other games, but completing them is a different story, you know? Like, yeah, in order to, like, do that and actually complete games, you gotta, like, not be committed to, like, raid groups and stuff. Yeah, so that is definitely a change I made in WoW so that I could play some of these other games. And honestly, I feel pretty good about it, you know? Like, I thought it would bug me more than it has, just because I always was such a steady player, playing, like, so many hours a day, like 10 plus hours a day, right? So, yeah. I think what honestly did it is my age. I got up to a certain age and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna die not knowing what these other games have to offer, you know? Yeah, that's like literally what did it. Once you get to that age where you actually feel like you're getting older, you know? Like, yeah, that's exactly what did it for me. But anyway, enough blab. I hope you enjoyed this week's WoW Weekly with Myst. And we will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.